Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ICE TV. I am back from holiday and thought I would start our very last episode of ICE TV with, well, holiday mode, a cocktail, an oolong rosemary gimlet. I hope you've had lots of time to try tips and tricks and recipes that the first couple of weeks of ICE TV have shared with you. All of the episodes, if you've missed any, are on our YouTube channel, and just below the video itself, you'll find the recipes from each of our guests. So welcome, and I know that we've got a really, really fun program for you today as well. My first guest you will know very well. He always comes with some delicious ideas and delicious tricks and really nice, cool twists on ways of doing things, which I love. So before I put him up on the screen, let me introduce him. And my first guest is Sauve, who discovered the wonderful world of teas at the very young age of 8. He's been with Transherb for 21 years as Director of Innovation and a proud 4 O'Clock brand ambassador. Christian has collaborated with the R&D for the amazing and unique blends at 4 O'Clock. Besides being a curious world traveler, searching for the latest ingredients, Christian is also a passionate foodie and enjoys playing with tastes and textures, and that is very apparent in the recipes that he has shared with us, not only last summer on ICE TV, but also last winter with our Entertaining with Tea. So, hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm really good. I have to admit, I'm still in holiday mode right now. I literally got back last night.
That's the best thing for ICE Tea contest, to be in the vacation holiday mode.
You know what? That's what I thought. I thought if there are episodes that have to be done on the day after I come back from holiday, this is definitely it. And my perfect guest to start off with, you've got some really fun ideas for us today. I see a cocktail on the menu.
Yes, it's called.
I see churros on the menu, and I see a banana split on the menu.
Yeah, it's a holiday. Yes.
I'm definitely intrigued. Well, you take it away, Christian.
Yes, I will. Thanks. Always a pleasure being here. Today, June 22nd, is Rainforest Day. It's been a special day for the Amazon and other precious forests around the world. And I thought of creating a recipe that we call Amazon.
Love it.
So first of all,
we use Amazon.
Yes, and Amazon, because this cocktail is super green all the way. So the first thing to put is some gin. There's great Canadian gin that you can use, of course. Yep. So 1.5 ounces of gin. And then, could this be greener?
It could not.
So this is
Amazon.
Celery juice.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making this a little healthy, are you?
Yeah. So, there's alcohol, but there's a vegetable, So you have your portion of vegetable for the day. And the other thing is a Sencha Matcha simple syrup. So you basically use 1 cup of sugar, simple syrup, as you mentioned with your rosemary, 1 cup of water, and then 4 tea bags of the Sencha Matcha that we have. It's a nice Japanese, and it's got really nice vegetal herbal notes that combine very well actually with the juniper and the celery.
Perfect. Okay.
And then, yes, go ahead.
My favorite sound.
Isn't it nice?
My absolute favorite sound in the world.
Yeah, mine too.
Speaking of a cocktail shaker.
I love cocktails, and those that know me, they know whenever I host people, friends over, family at home, I always make a cocktail. Nice. I love cocktails, especially during summertime. So look at this wonderful color.
Oh, gorgeous. Beautiful.
And then some fresh flowers from the garden,
Nice.
of course.
Perfect.
Can
Now
I try
that's
it?
an Amazon. Delicious.
Yeah, very nice.
No words needed. So, tell me, did you, and knowing you probably did make your own celery juice. Did you make your own celery juice?
Yes, I did. But those that don't have a
Yes.
juicer, you can basically use fresh celery and some water in your, how do you
Blender.
call that? The blender, thank you, and just strain it.
Yeah.
It's going
perfect.
to be basically the same. So you don't
Yeah.
need to have the whole juicer, and they can be quite expensive. So you can do it at home with your own blender.
Perfect.
So that's for the first thing, which is
Okay, that's
the
our
Amazon. And then the next one is very decadent, and I apologize, or should I apologize?
You
Anyhow.
never need to apologize for decadence, Christian.
Okay. And the past 2 years have been very difficult for all of us, the COVID, and not being able to see friends or family. It's been really, at least for me, and I know for a lot of people, difficult. Now that it's a little bit behind us, it's the perfect time to go back to childhood memories, souvenirs. And
Yep.
for me, when I was young, going to Dairy Queen and eating a banana split was the thing. So when I had good marks at school, my mother and my dad would bring me to Dairy Queen. And
That was your treat?
Yeah. And I thought of, doing something with tea and banana split. It was a bit complex. And why do simple things when you can do it very complex? So that's me, complex. So we have this great herbal tea. It's a golden turmeric.
Okay.
And it's got turmeric, ginger, it's got coconut, ice cream.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So I see where you're pulling in all your flavors. Okay.
Yeah. So I do a concentrate of golden turmeric, 2 tea bags in 1/3 of a cup of hot water. And then I add some sweetener. Okay. It can be sugar, but it can be stevia or monk fruit, of course. And then a little bit of ice. So it's really a concentrate. Now the decadent part begins. So I use lady fingers that I dip in a mixture of, it's like a reduction of our chocolate spice.
Okay.
Because, banana split without chocolate is
no, totally. Okay, so this is going in like a tiramisu direction.
Yes, it's like a banana split meets tiramisu.
Yeah.
Why not? And then for the cream, because usually in a tiramisu we use mascarpone, as you know.
Yeah.
In this case, I wanted something different, so I whipped fresh cream with a banana. So that's the banana part of the banana split. There's
delicious.
Fresh cream with banana. So you got your fruit and your potassium. In the cocktail you had your vegetable. Now you have your fruit. So it's not entirely decadent. There's a little balance here.
Absolutely.
And then I top it with a little bit of commercial. And the reason why I use commercial to top it off is that I just like the pattern of this,
Yeah.
And, June is Pride Month.
Yes.
And I thought of adding, of course, some rainbow sprinkles. Banana split always has some nuts.
Yeah.
I add some banana chips. Why not? And
a cherry.
A cherry.
A cherry on top, of course.
And because I've been working so hard, I will get to try it. So you can see the color,
It's gorgeous, and it's really nicely layered, right?
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
And the fun part is when the lady finger starts to blend.
Yeah.
So you get parts of the lady finger. That's a bit weird to say.
No, I
the lady finger, but you hear what I'm saying. In the straw
Oh, nice.
Mm,
Delicious.
this is summer.
Dessert in a cup. I love it.
And you know, I used golden turmeric, but you could use an Earl Grey. We have nice lemon ginger as well. You know, some people don't like turmeric too much because they find it a bit too earthy. I personally really like it.
Yeah.
But yeah. The next one, you know, when I was so since we're talking about childhood memories, when I was young, we've had the pleasure of having a cottage near a lake, and me and my family were going there every weekend and summer long, spend quality time with my mom.
Nice.
And then we had, of course, a campfire.
Of course.
And for me, cottage was the campfire in the evening. My dad was playing guitar, was singing, and of course, there was s'mores at the end of the evening. So we have this sweet cinnamon tea, which is a bit like it has the inspiration is like a churros, you know, from the Mexican pastry. So it's very sweet. You don't need to add sugar at all. And we wanted to combine with this whole viral trend of Dalgona. You know, Dalgona coffee has been super popular. Some people have even called it the quarantine drink, in the sense that in South Korea, it was trending quite a lot on TikTok and so on. And we were looking at ways to recreate Dalgona because, as you know, Dalgona is basically equal parts of instant coffee, sugar, and water, basically, that you just blend and, you know, so this is coffee, but we wanted to do something with tea, of course, because we're in the tea business, of course. So we create this recipe that combines like a syrup of the sweet cinnamon with brown sugar. And in parallel, we whisk egg whites until they become super fluffy and foamy, and then you combine it. So it basically has a very light texture.
And that's where you get this Dalgona effect, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So what we do?
It's almost like a meringue.
A little bit, I would say that, yes. Yeah. It's a bit of like a meringue, that's for sure. So we basically add some oat milk cold on ice, and then we add the Dalgona, which you can use, you drink with a straw, or even I'd say with a spoon. Yep. And then a little bit, you know me, some graham crumbs, of course.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, there's no vegetable in that one.
No.
Obviously.
Well, you have the egg white, so there's dairy.
Oh yes, it's true. You have your protein, so it's almost healthy.
There you go.
And then, of course, and this is the tricky part, and I really hope I don't put the house on fire. Yeah. But this is the marshmallow. Oh, look at this. This is childhood memory. Oh, let's go.
Love that. Nice toasted marshmallow on the top. Delish. Oh,
voila.
Gorgeous. That's beautiful, Christian. I love that one. So I haven't done the Dalgona like that. I do admit that I have to try all the trends. So I did a matcha Dalgona.
Oh.
And
that must have been nice.
It was really good. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, what do you replace the instant coffee with? I think the other thing that would really work well would be, these micro ground teas.
Oh, yes.
With an Earl Grey, any of those would work really nicely as well.
Yeah, even rooibos. Rooibos, probably, because you can make espresso with rooibos powder. Exactly. So I guess with powder, that could work well. The trick is really, you need the sugar part and you need the egg whites. And the egg whites need to be very, very foamy and fluffy. And when we incorporate both of them together, it's really amazing to see how the texture becomes like a pudding texture.
It completely transforms, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Beautiful.
So I guess, let me try it.
Let me try it. How bad can it be?
I love my job.
What's that? Love it, Christian. So Amazon, Churros Campfire, and a banana split latte. You never ever disappoint. All of your teas are available in our local supermarket.
Yes, indeed. Independent stores. natural food stores, some supermarkets in Ontario and across the country have the 4 o'clock teas as well.
Perfect. And, you can always go online.
Let me know when you come to Montreal. Always a great pleasure.
I will. I think I'm probably looking at August, but I'll let you know.
Looking forward.
Always a pleasure, Christian. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, Shabnam. Take care.
Bye. Take care. Thank you. Oh my goodness, what deliciousness and what a great start. Decadence, which, you know what? We always feel like we have to apologize for being decadent. And I say, stop it. If you want to be decadent, be decadent. You don't need to find an excuse for it. You don't need to make up a celebration for it. Just do it because you feel like it. And that's the end of that. Now, I know my next guest will agree with that statement. And I'm really pleased to introduce you to my next guest before I put her up on the screen. And she is the Cindi Bigelow. Cindi is the third generation president and CEO of a family-owned Bigelow Tea. Before assuming this key role in 2005, Cindi spent nearly 20 years in all areas of the company that her grandmother founded in 1945. Headquartered in Fairfield, Connecticut, with additional manufacturing plants in Idaho and Kentucky, Bigelow Tea is the national market leader of specialty teas and maker of the famous Constant Comet. The company remains a 100% family-owned business and employs 450 people across 3 manufacturing facilities, producing over 2 billion tea bags annually. So you know a little bit about tea, Cindi.
Hello, first of all. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Well, thank you for inviting me again this year. But I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Keep me busy, especially during COVID and still COVID. Everyone has really turned to tea, which is a blessing. But it's keeping us all on our toes. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Definitely is. I think it's keeping us on our toes, but it's really nice to know that what we're doing has been providing a source of comfort to all the people that have turned to tea, turned to more tea, turned to tea for the first time, whatever the case is. So
right. Well, it's also a healthy beverage, right? People are trying to do things that put things in their body that are healthy, and tea is so healthy for you, right? Building up your T cells, really being help fight viruses. So it's fantastic. We're blessed to be in this business. But I'm excited to do some iced teas with you. What I'm not excited about was following Christian, because his were so good and decadent and all this other stuff. So the only thing I guess can say is decadent, and ours is we do have an alcohol one this year. Like I promised you we were going to do last year, we added an alcohol one this year. So
you did, and I'm really excited about the ones that you've got. But I think that what you're doing is really, really important, because understanding how to start is an important one. And you're going to show us today your Bigelow Fresh Brewed Iced Tea. You're also going to do a peach lemonade acai botanicals cold water infusion, which is super important because it's I want to call it a simplified way of making an iced tea, which, who doesn't like simplified, right? And then, of course, the much promised martini.
Well, I just have to make one small correction on the botanical, which I'm going to do first. That's actually not an iced tea. It's an infused herbal water.
Perfect.
And so a lot of people are drinking it refreshing like an iced tea. In our particular case, this is about convenience when you're talking about some of our products we're going to be making today. But what I love about the botanical is, again, we have 6 different flavors, but you just take your tea bag, which is very convenient, and you can travel with it. And all you do is just put it in whatever container you want and pour water over it. And that's it. You let it sit. And we don't have enough time together, but if you had a camera sort of watching it slowly, you'll see the infusion take place. So whatever the 6 flavors you use. So we're going to let this sit on the side here, but this is going to be a beautiful product in a short period of time. I actually, believe it or not, I've gotten so used to drinking this. I drink so much more water because of it. And true story, I don't really can't even tell you why I do, but I just love these and I keep drinking them. I sometimes use the tea bag for a second brew, which is it's already a light infusion to begin with. But the fact that I go for a second, because it really is just taking your water,
Yeah.
And it's just giving them this natural botanical infusion, which is so refreshing. So that's going to sit on the side, and nothing gets much easier than that one.
You know, it doesn't. But what I love about it is that it adds, as I said, you know, that simplicity portion of it. And, you know, hydration is so important. We all know it. And, you know, the majority of us suck at it. I'm, you know, the worst at it. But having just that extra little flavor, and lemon is great, but there's only so much lemon water that a person can do in a day. So I love these.
But I find even when I have something like lemon water, I'll not drink that much more. When I have one of these on at my desk, or when I do it at in my kitchen, I end up drinking, I can't explain it, between 60 and 80 ounces of water a day. And I will be honest, if I was not drinking the botanicals, I maybe, if I'm lucky, get 20 ounces of water in.
Yeah.
So it's just a really easy way to do it. And again, you know, 6 easy flavors. And what's also nice is, if you think about it, right, all you have to do is just take one of these and put it in your bag. And then even if you go to a restaurant, right, you can just take it out and just add it to your water. It's not a lot of drama, which in today's world, that's nice. Not a lot of drama.
That is the best. Love it. Okay, so you've got those in 6 different flavors.
Yep. If these tea bags start falling out of here because I didn't really lock the box properly, we're going to just have to chuckle a little bit. But yeah, 6 flavors, which is awesome. I love them all. Black raspberry, strawberry lemon, peach lemonade, cranberry lime, watermelon, cucumber, and blueberry citrus. And I don't even care. We have them in big baskets here at Bigelow because we do have access to a lot of tea bags here. And I just grab any one. I do not care. I do not care. I do not have a favorite. Although I will be honest with you. Okay, I've got to close this. It's driving me crazy. This particular one, the peach lemonade, has really taken off. That's why I'm doing this one with you today.
Okay. All right. Love it.
All right. Next one. Again, so easy to do. And we did one last year as well. One other thing I love to do, and if you remember, we chatted about it last year, is at my home, I have a tea drawer. And in the tea drawer, I must have, it was built for me by my partner. And you put a box in each one of these slots. It holds 20 tea bags. And our teas are 20 tea bags for the most part. And kids will come over and they would just pick any combination. Yeah. So last year we did one combination. This year, we're going to do a very basic one. We're going to be doing English tea time and I love lemon. Okay. And I think this is hopefully going to be boiling. We won't have a problem with the water. And again, any combination. I'm going to take the English tea time, put it in with a glass with a spoon for conducting of the hot water so you don't have a problem. And then, you know, this is not a science here. You don't have to measure it specifically. But you know what? I want to be able to create a strong concentrate that I can put over ice, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just put enough to make a strong concentrate. And then I'm going to let that sit for about 5 minutes, which we do not have time to do. So I'm going to let that sit over there. Okay. And I'm going to pull out the one that I have had sitting for 5 minutes. It is still warm. And then I just pour it over ice.
Perfect. So I have to say, this is one of the things that I love that you guys do. You did share one of these last year. And if I'm not mistaken, you have customers that share their favorite combinations on your social media, don't you? I love that. Because it's, you know, everybody thinks, most people think that blending, I mean, it is an art. There is an art to blending, no question about it. But a lot of people are afraid to blend themselves inside of their kitchen with different ingredients. But what you've done is you've created, you know, these combinations that work well together and are now telling people, well, just play, have fun.
Well, I think what's exciting is you got to understand each one of our teas, it has in it up to like 18 ingredients. Yeah. So when you're mixing I Love Lemon with any other product, you've got, I mean, I wish I could count, but probably 12 different ingredients. We've got vitamin C in there, rose hips, lemongrass. There's so many things in there. So you're really getting the benefit of already a full recipe.
Exactly.
That in this particular case, you're blending with a beautiful black tea from High Elevation Gardens in India and in Sri Lanka. And then that's why you're getting something that's so delicious and unique. It isn't just like taking black tea and putting some lemon in it, right? It's a whole nother experience.
No, I think that for people, they can even have fun with it and you know, create their own house blend Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? That this is my family
Yes.
blend, even though.
Well, a lot of people like to
your
cook with
family.
our teas as well, because again, it has so many ingredients in it that you're really getting the benefit of 18 or 12 or whatever, 10, whatever it is in your recipe. So in this particular case, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
This is regular old sugar.
Okay.
A little less processed. Yes, you saw how much sugar I added. And then, you could do a mint.
Nice.
You could do a lemon. You could do both. I'm going to do both because I'm wild.
Why not?
All right, maybe I'm not totally wild. And then, talk about fresh brewed. And to be honest, if you want all the antioxidant properties of a black tea or a green tea, and all the antioxidants that are in there, fresh brewed is the best.
Yeah.
And so what I love is any combination, fresh brewed doesn't taste any better than this. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And that's how quick and easy it is to make an iced tea.
Fantastic.
Right? It's literally make yourself a concentrate, pour it over ice, and then sweeten, not sweeten, add other layers of flavor, and you're done.
And what I love is every combination could be different, right?
Yeah.
So I could have put perfectly mint in this to make it even more minty, right? So there's so many. We have 150 teas. So just think about all the combinations of 2, and if you're really crazy, 3. You could have put a raspberry or a peach, an herbal peach in this as well. So it is kind of fun to play around with it and see what you come up with. And then you can submit it to us and tell us which is your favorite recipe.
Well, and I was talking about this with one of my guests last time. It's just about getting in the kitchen and just playing, have fun. Don't be afraid. Because, will you mess up? I guarantee you'll mess up something. You'll create some combination that you go, not so sure I want to serve that to anybody. But it's the surprises that work. They're the best.
Well, it's cute. I don't know if I shared a story with you last year, but where this whole tea drawer and the kids coming over and making these combinations started when my son was in high school. And I don't know if it's an actual term, but they used to call it jazz cooking.
Okay.
And they would come to the house, 3, 4 boys, and I just knew to move over. And they would open up the refrigerator and they'd see what was in there, and they would call it jazz cooking. Whatever ingredients I had, they would try to make something.
They were ripping.
And I'm telling you, usually they were delicious. I couldn't believe it. But that's where this whole idea of just mixing a little of this, mixing a little bit of that. And that's when they just started making teas, mixing them all together. So I guess I could call this jazz iced tea making. I don't know. I didn't know where they came up with the terminology, but it works.
I love it. Does work. And it's about the adventure of it that is the best.
Okay, so the last one, as promised, again, maybe not as delicious as Christian's decadent drinks that were like, wait a minute, I want one of those. But it's still a lot of fun. So we came up with a Earl Grey martini.
Okay.
Which, that's a good beginning.
Again, you had me at martini.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you had me at. So you take the Earl Grey. We're going to take 2 bags in this case. Open them up. And what I love about this, our oil of bergamot, which is what makes our Earl Grey, is actually an organic
nice.
that we buy from a 3rd-generation farmer, family farm in Italy, Calabria, Italy. It's absolutely beautiful. So you're going to do the same thing. 2 tea bags. You're going to pour a little bit of boiling water. How much? I think, like we said, 3 or 4 ounces in this particular case.
And again, you're making a concentrate out of this.
Yep. Because again, I'm going to put it over ice.
Okay.
So you got to prepare for the ice part. Otherwise, if you make it perfect without the ice and you add too much water, it's definitely because of the fact that it's boiling water. It's going to melt the ice. So you've got to play with that.
Yeah.
And what's fun about these 2, you can change. This one was perfect. You couldn't do any better than this. And our beautiful botanical. I don't know.
Well, I was just going to say the one next to it, it's infusing really nicely. It's a gorgeous color. It's a peachy color.
So
that's
good.
the peach lemonade.
All right, so we're going to let this sit again, probably for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Again, our recipes they're for ease, they're for fun, they're for accessibility, right? So you should be able to get any of these just about anywhere. So we're going to put this over here. Now, this is my concentrate after the 4 or 5 minutes. And now let the fun begin. Now, I used to be a bartender way back when, but using shakers can be very risky, and I haven't had a lot of practice. So if things go flying, I already apologize.
Cindi,
So
I've
I'm
done it
gonna
on live. I've done it on live television where milk went flying when I did a shake. So
Wait, what? Repeat? I was doing ice.
I've done it on live television, shaking, and milk sort of went all over me. So
Same thing.
all good.
So ice, the concentrate of the Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Now, something very important, and that would be called the gin. Now, of course, if you want it to be a vodka martini, you can do that as well.
Okay.
I cleverly hide the label. So that's about 1.5 ounces, which is what we're putting in, which is 1 shot. Notice how I did that absolutely to the maximum.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you start to kind of flavor it.
Okay.
So we have a little simple syrup here, which is basically just sugar and hot water so that it's melted. And again, to taste, I'm just going to do about a tablespoon, maybe a dash more.
Perfect.
Then we have a little lemon juice. How much lemon juice? I don't know. How about a tablespoon? How about a dash more, since I seem to be doing this dash thing?
You make your cocktails the way I do.
Now, pray to God this works. And now I got to do it with drama.
And next time you do this, you're going to flip it behind your head.
It's leaking everywhere for the record. Okay. Yeah, it's all good. Actually, it was pretty good. Then top off. And my lovely team got me the greatest little device here because it pours right out. Oh my God, here we go.
Ah, perfection.
Come on now. Come on now.
Perfection.
Come on now. We're looking mighty fun. Look
Gorgeous.
at that.
Look at that.
Now hold on. Hold on. Drama's not over.
Okay. Oh, you got a twist. Perfection.
All right, now I just need to make sure it tastes good.
Important.
Just because you want to make sure for all your wonderful people that are watching this.
I thank you for making that sacrifice. That's good.
Christian might have his little fancy dancy drink, and I got my little fancy dancy drink.
And I have neither.
That's well. This is really. I mean, I'm not kidding you. This is almost dangerous good. Because the issue with the tea, it's so good, but it will mask the flavor of the gin, right? So you taste the gin, and that's a full serving of gin, but it tastes really good, like a nice iced tea.
And that's and that's always the sign of a really dangerous cocktail when it's so delicious.
Wow!
Oh, nice.
Wow!
Okay.
That's a problem.
That's a
problem. That is really good. Okay, so then going back to our little botanical, you can see how gorgeous it is. I'll come close for you to see it.
The color is beautiful. You can see the peachiness. It's really pretty.
All right, this helps counter the drink.
Yeah.
Which I actually felt those 2 sips. I'm not lying to you.
Oh dear.
All right, so this is beautiful. This is the peach lemonade Asahi.
Perfect.
Absolutely fantastic. Makes you, I guarantee you, if you do this, my guess is you'll also drink 60 to 80 ounces of water. Then this beautiful, I don't know which drink to drink here. This is the problem, Houston. Then we have our beautiful I Love Lemon English tea time. Put a little bit of sugar. I put lemon and mint. Gorgeous. Really gorgeous. And then the beautiful, the one and only Earl Grey Martini, which is 2 tea bags, 4 ounces of water. Let it sit for 5 minutes. Pour it in your little shaker here with your gin or your vodka. I did 1.5 ounces, the 4 ounces of the double tea bag, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of sugar, shook it up, poured it out, added a little twist. This thing is dangerous. Just saying. Let me try it again just to make sure how dangerous.
I think you should. I think just to be sure, because you know.
That's a problem. That's really a problem. Anyway, so there's our iced teas.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what, Cindi? You don't have to decide because you can have all 3.
Well, if it wasn't the time it is here, maybe, but I think I'll stick with these 2 today. Unless I could just put this in the freezer, refrigerator for later
I was
tonight.
just going to say, pop that in the freezer or the fridge rather, and
That is,
wrap it in a
I'm
couple
not
of hours.
kidding you. All you need is 2 tea bags, a little gin, and the simple syrup and the lemon. You got to do this. This is
All right.
really good.
I will definitely put that on my end of day drink for today. My day
Well,
may end sooner than I want it to.
I'm so happy that I got to be part of this. That's so sweet for you to include us. I mean, that's fun for us. Really, it is.
Thank you for doing it. Your teas for anybody watching are available at all of our local grocery stores. And, what I always say is, listen, online is always an option as well. So they are readily
in the
available.
United States, probably any store. In Canada, not any store, but definitely, obviously, we know online. So, yeah, there's options for sure.
The internet has no borders, Cindi.
It does not. It does not.
And that's a good thing.
So it's great. All right.
Always a pleasure to have you and to see you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your drinks. They look delicious. And I will definitely make myself one of those martinis to
thank you. Thanks for including it tonight. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. Take care. Bye, Cindi.
Take care.
All right. Well, we're going to leave Cindi with that delicious martini. And I hope she puts that in the fridge and drinks it later. I hope it doesn't go down the sink because that would be a crying shame. So with that, I am very pleased to introduce my next guest to you. My next guest is James Kenny. James has worked in the Canadian food service industry for more than 25 years with roles in both restaurant operations and You'd think I would have had that martini, and food manufacturing sales. He is currently a part of the TATA Consumer Products Canada team, managing the food service sales for Tetley, Teapigs, and 8 O'Clock Coffee brands. And hello, James. How are you?
Hey, Shannon. How are you?
I'm really good. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. And you know what? Thanks to Cindi, because I learned a new phrase about the gin. I get my daily portion or serving of gin every day. That's a great thing to use in the future. I need my serving of gin.
Right? I mean, you add on top of that, I don't know if you caught Christian's, add on top of that, he put celery juice into his cocktail. That's my vegetable serving. Just saying.
so a complete day in one glass. Geez, I might need a nap after that. That's going to be nice.
Right. Just tune in here for all your dietary needs, ladies and gentlemen.
There's dietitians everywhere going, wait.
Pretty much. Well, James, you are going to make for us a green tea blast.
Yeah. So,
and I also hear a cold, dirty chai latte. I love dirty chai.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? When you add a little bit of coffee of any kind to a little bit of tea, it just changes the complexity. A little decadence, as you said before. And you know what? I can't stress enough over the ease of tea, right? So we give fancy names, fancy drinks, but I think when you're back at home and I'm in my kitchen and you have a plethora of items in your fridge, your cupboard, crisper, whatever, don't be afraid to mix them. And I use general rules. I like my green tea with a little sparkling and fruit. And hey, I just learned celery water, so fantastic. And then use your dark teas for your decadence, right? A little bit more heavy, a little more finish a meal, or listen, nothing like a latte when you're on the back patio on a hot day like this. It changes everything. And don't be afraid. There's a lot of stuff in front of me, and I think everyone's had a lot of stuff. Don't worry about stuff. It starts with a kettle and a bag, whatever you want to do and get creative. So I put together just a couple, right? But obviously it's endless. And I'm going to make them PG-13, but I have bottles. Well, no, sorry. The dirty chai will use coffee liqueur, but you could use straight coffee.
But you can leave it out if you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many options, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'll start with the blast. And what I'm using is honestly, again, more to your day, the Tetley Fortified.
Mm-hmm.
You get your 25% of B6 in this drink.
Nice.
Not sure what the gin will do to it afterwards, but let's say without the gin, it's 25%. So step one, and I know I deal with this in the food service side a little bit. Canadians are afraid of ice, maybe because we're
I know.
under it for 8 months at a time. But start with I don't know if you can see it. I'm against my white shirt.
Yeah, no, you can.
Okay, so a full glass of ice, right? A good 24 ounce glass full of ice. Also with tea, listen, you can brew it at a minute, or I prefer to do the night before, so it has a tendency to set up. I let it steep a little longer because, as Cindi alluded to and others alluded, you got the dilution factor, right? I got a glass full of ice, which turns into a half glass full of water. So dilution factor, have a little bit of, you want the flavor of the tea to shine through. So I brewed a little bit of green tea here, and I got a shaker glass. I'm not shaking because
you're not going to do it.
I got white on, and it'll be brutal. I didn't realize what I was doing. So in the shaker, all I did was I'm adding 6 to 8 ounces. You got a 24 ounce glass. You want a little bit out of a teapot. For this one, I want a little strawberry puree. But you can buy prepackaged. Nice. You can buy prepackaged purees as well, or fruit juices. Yeah. It can be added. Again, green tea. I steeped it for close to 4 minutes. So it's going to be a little astringent, yes. Yeah. However, it's going to have a tea flavor at the end. So,
but if you said you're diluting it, do you know what I mean? And this is the other thing people shouldn't be afraid of, is that what you're making isn't how you're going to be drinking it, right? It becomes an ingredient as opposed to the beverage, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, listen, whether you are consuming alcohol, you may do shots, but you dilute your drink otherwise to give you a finish in the cup flavor. Yeah. So basically, I'm not going to get fancy here with a spoon, because why would I do that? It's strawberry puree. I just grabbed a frozen smoothie mix, honestly, and I'm adding about 2 ounces, roughly 2 ounces into the green tea. You want to sit and kind of develop just a little, so give it a stir. I'm stirring, I'm shaking, right?
If you're adventurous, you can shake it up.
Yeah, if you got skills, please do. My shaker hasn't got a real good lid on it, so I know I would be striped. I'd be a candy cane after this. I think anything needs a little bit of citrus just to wake it up, right? Just to give it a little tartness to it. Mm-hmm. So I'm just about a half an ounce, again, dash, whatever you feel of orange juice or lemon juice. And then, again, stir. I mean, I'm going crazy here, I understand. Here, at the end of the day, you would add your gin. So I have a bottle of gin. You could add your gin, your vodka. Actually, a little bit of vermouth isn't bad either. Just a little. Nice. You don't need a lot. Just enough to give it a little taste of a little more flavor on top. Not a lot. You can overdo it with the vermouth. Just quarter ounce, a little bit, just enough to give it a little bit of finish. Like adding butter to a sauce to give it that shine. Mm-hmm. Vermouth just gives it a little bit of extra. And here's the crazy part: pour over ice, and it can be done. And I always leave a little bit of room, and it can be done again, not just in a glass. Pitcher, sitting in the garden with 3-4 people in the back patio. And listen, inflation's killing all of us. It's hurting our wallets. Tea is relatively inexpensive item, and it goes with so many things. It can be used as your signature drink. I think you mentioned it before, out in the garden with your friends, to get started with, or a conversation piece. Yep. You need sparkling, so I've added a little of lemon, a little of the lemon lime, usually bubbly, or you can use bubbly, I guess. You can use whatever sparkling you want, soda, whatever. Again, I rated my pantry, my fridges to do this, so it can it's so simple, and you don't need a university degree to do anything in these.
But I think like what you're, sorry, go ahead.
No, again, I'm just finishing with a slice of lemon. Don't use straws in this house, but you have a drink for your green blast, right?
I love it. I love it.
Simple.
And I think what you just said there is really important, is that you just raided your fridge to see what was there, right? I mean, you did strawberry puree. You could have just as easily, you could do any fruit puree to go inside of it. You can take fresh fruits and zap it in a blender with ice if you want to get it. Like, there's so many variations, right?
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be complicated, and it's just about combining flavors and keeping it simple.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be made in a fancy shaker either. Again, I'm going to make the next one right in the glass.
Perfect.
And quite frankly, she can go to any coffee made for a latte. And this is kind of using black tea, or black tea in this case, just offset it. Just use it, because everyone's got a box of black tea in their house. 99% sure there's something in your house to use. Hopefully it's one that we sell, but of course there's others out there too. They're equally good. I had to throw that unsolicited plug out there. Didn't say the name, just said the plug. So again, steeped the night before. And listen, so basic, I used a travel mug, because you know what? They're insulated. They can sit on the counter.
Of course. Yeah.
And some do, but I don't refrigerate their tea overnight to get it to room temp.
Okay.
And thanks to you, sommelier in me says, I'm going to taste my fridge.
Yeah.
Right. It's so, I forget the technical term, but it soaks up the flavors and the odors really quick. So
hygroscopic.
Hygroscopic. There you go. Thank you. I got to write that down. I can put that in my memory. Folks, I can taste the flavors. And listen, we all have that tea you have a great the day before, and you try it the next day, and like, I don't know, it doesn't taste the same. Must have been my taste buds that day. It's a fridge.
Yeah.
So if you don't put sugar in it, it can stay on your shelf or your countertop for up to 24 hours. Sun tea is an example of that. And just kind of go crazy with that. But you got to make it strong if you're going to use it the next day for this chai recipe. So again, I'm not going to make it in the shaker. I'm just using the glass, quite frankly. And I'm going to make one and then pour over ice, just so we have it. So it's basically a half of a cup or half a glass, roughly, of.
That's a strong tea. Yeah,
just strong. I made it strong. Again, it's got to stand up to the other hot beverage, which now will be chilled, will be coffee. And you know what? It is simple to have a coffee from this morning. Made a coffee and put it into a cup. But for this little one, I'm going to use a little of this. I'm not hiding the brand because everyone knows the brand. A little of the coffee liqueur. Yeah. That's out there. So you can get crazy and live life on the edge, like a Saturday morning at the cottage or by the lake or the trail or whatever. You're just throwing in, I'm going to say a healthy 2, maybe 1.5 ounces of
splash.
Yeah.
Whatever a splash means to you.
Amen. Right there, right? And again, mixing it up just to make sure it goes through. And it's again, back to simple. You could add spice here too. You could have a little cayenne, little chili pepper.
Nice.
Again, chili pepper water if you wanted to go a little crazy and make that. Yeah, it's all about being creative and drinking what you like. Yeah. At the end of the day. So quite simple. Glass full of ice again.
Don't be afraid of ice.
And it's just the coffee liqueur it in. And you're just going to fill it up and leave yourself room, because you have to decorate. You just can't say, oh, here we go. So I'm going to pour a little of the milk in, and there's always that. Should I use cream? Should I not use cream? Tea and cream. I like the milk in it. Just takes a little different, just to give it a little bit of a color, a swirl through. Again, classic ready whipped cream.
Whipped cream. I love you guys with your whipped cream.
I know, right? But you know what? Again, you could dress it with the chopped nuts and mints and stuff.
Perfect.
But guess what came back out, right?
Surprise!
You have to, and again, this is a literal hand on one side. I can go around a circle. I was a bartender, I played one on TV. But you know what? Mint can go on here too. So again, it's the gorgeous. I love it, right? And
delicious.
And you can change that coffee portion too, right? If you want a little more.
Yeah. So black tea, coffee liqueur, milk, whipped cream, and then another little splash on top. And listen, you used Kahlua. I'll plug a couple of others. Bailey's works really well with it, and so does Tia Maria.
Yes. I've been seeing Frangelico and a couple of others, right?
Frangelico is a good
on top. I like, and then chocolate shavings, of course, would be the extra little hit. Again, without the whipped cream, it can be made in the pitcher.
Right.
And what's fun is to sit around with a empty drink, and everyone gets to whipped cream their own drinks.
And then put it on. Perfect.
Yeah, so
perfect.
It's having fun with the items in front of us, right?
Yeah.
And not getting pigeonholed. It has to come from a teapot, or it has to be in a clear glass. It can be anything you want it to be. The days of rigidity, I think, are gone, and we're allowed to flex and be who we want to be. You know what? And any one of these recipes can do any tea. So, I got the immune out because I was drinking that this morning.
So you use the fortified. Show us the boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Hold them up. So you use the fortified to start.
Yep, that was the green tip was for this one, turned into this.
Perfect. And then
And
you use your nice classic orange pico for
yeah, classic
the
orange pico
latte.
for this.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
And then for any others, and I actually used a little bit of the I should have told you. I mixed a little chai and black tea together. I use the Teabags chili chai.
Oh,
And
nice. Okay.
it adds a little bit of a hit and undertone to it. And I meant to put that on the recipe and I forgot about it until I was looking at it.
Okay. We can add it. Don't worry about that. We can add it. So for the black tea, so for the latte, you actually mix the chai
in the black tea with the syrup and the dirty chai tea. So I did a 50-50 in my travel mug.
Yeah.
And just so you get the nose of the chai, and you taste the richness of black tea all the way through, and then the coffee liqueur or coffee hit. So you're actually layering on really powerful flavors, right? You're almost building a chocolate tort cake almost, right? A tiramisu feel where you're layering it, and then you got the icing or the cream on top to give it to kind of not flatten it, but just to ease it on your palate, because it is pretty strong on your palate. That's the decadence, right? That's the decadence. And if you want heat, add a little bit more chili. This has chilies in it, so you can add your own
elevate
chili.
that with even more. So, I mean, really, it's, as you said before, it's about how versatile it is, how simple it is, right? I mean, make a picture out of it and let everybody make their own. What I love to encourage people to do, which you just pointed out as well, is that, you don't have to make tea in a teapot, and you also don't have to serve it in a teacup. Use a glass, and even with glasses, I say, think outside of that. Pull out your daiquiri glasses. That first drink that you made, right? Pour that in a daiquiri glass, and now you've got a party.
You do. And listen, we go to parties all the time where the tableware is mismatched, right? Because it's fun and whimsical. Your beverage can be the same way. You don't have to. Just don't get tied to anything. And if you have a ritual, you like a tea a certain way, sure, enjoy that. But go out and enjoy different. And listen, if you go to restaurants, you'll see they serve it differently now.
Exactly.
They're thinking outside how to.
And that's the ones we remember.
Yes, fajita, in fact, I always call it, right? The fajita. You always remember a fajita walking by and you order one. So you want the same thing with the beverages.
It's true. It's that sizzling plate.
It is. Everyone likes the sizzle.
I love the sizzle you shared with us. Thank you so much, James. It's always good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Hope to see you in person soon too.
We will.
Yeah.
I'm planning a whole conference.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, someone told me about that. What's going on?
Well, James, let's you and I have a chat. September 27th to the 29th.
27, 29. All right. What are we going to see? What do you got? Any sneak previews for us? Any sneak peeks?
Queen's Landing. Yes, I may have an amazing cocktail guy coming.
Oh, nice. Well, then I better get on time.
That's the fun part. On top of all of the really important educational stuff that we've got some great speakers lined up. So
good. Well, I've enjoyed past years, so this one will be good too.
Good. Well, thank you so much, James. It was good seeing you. Enjoy the summer.
Yes, going outside to swelter in the heat now. I'm going to try to work outside today. I wonder how long I'll last with this fair skin. Probably not too long.
Well, you know what? So I just got back from holiday. I was in Italy. It was 34 degrees. So this is lovely now. I'm fully acclimated.
Lovely. Well, good for you. Lovely.
All right. Take care, James.
See you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Fun recipes and really versatility and keeping it simple are so important, and really good messages from James. Thank you. Which brings me to our last guest. And our last guest, not just for today, but for ICE TV for the month of June. I am very happy to introduce to you Natasha Fahel. Natasha started her career in the natural foods industry at the ripe old age of 16 when she was selling vitamins and herbs at her after-school job. Talk about starting it young. Developing a passion for health and wellness, Natasha continued to work in various health and wellness stores throughout the rest of high school and college. For the last 20 plus years, she's been lucky to work with some of the best brands in the natural food industry, including where she's at now, and that is Stash tea.
Hey,
Hi, Natasha. How are you?
wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm really good. It's lovely to see you, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I was super excited. I was watching all the videos of the past ones and, following quite an impressive group of people today. So I hope that I, finish off with a bang here.
You are going to finish off with a blast because you got two deliciousnesses. A mango passion fruit hard seltzer. And a strawberry pomegranate creamsicle.
Yeah.
I can't think of two better things on these hot days.
Right.
So take it away.
Yeah. So I was super excited. Like Stash is incredible. Their website has tons of recipes, but I wanted to do something a little bit more bespoke for this. So I added a little bit of my own sort of flair to it. I love to cook. This is my favorite room in the house, and I love to actually get my children involved. And this whole process actually got me thinking of my own relationship with tea, which I never thought of before. But I have like memories of picking wild herbs with my mom and my grandparents and making, tea out of those things. My mom used to make chamomile tea to calm my brother and I down when we were really young. And it made me realize, tea has always been a part of my life. I have one coffee in the morning to keep up with my 7 and 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And get them to the door. And then that's it. That's all I need. And then the rest of the day is just me drinking tea. Right. And I love variety. So, I'm going to start with the creamsicle because I think it was Christian earlier mentioned nostalgia.
Yeah.
And just nothing brings me back to my childhood than that ice cream dripping down
your arm.
Oh my gosh, the orange creamsicle, but the raspberry one, the pink one was like always my favorite, but I never got a lot of those. So now this is actually something I did with my kids on the weekend, wanting to get them involved. And like cooking with your children anytime, it's never reads like the brochure. I am not Mary Poppins, and it gets messy and everything gets everywhere. But at the end, they had so much fun. So basically what I did, and I did it with, I also tried it with the raspberry hibiscus tea too. Mm-hmm. Like Stash has a lot of really wonderful fruit teas that you can sub. So I took 6 tea bags to 2.5 cups of water, and you make a concentrate. Yeah,
that's a concentrate. Okay,
concentrate. You want it really punchy, right?
Yeah.
You're essentially trying to make a juice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So and then very important step is make sure you sweeten it, or your kids won't have anything to do with it.
Of course, because it's hibiscus.
Yeah, exactly. And I prefer monk fruit. That's what I use in the house. Mm-hmm. But you can use simple syrup. You can use maple syrup. You can use sugar. You just want to make sure you put the sugar in when the tea's still hot so that it dissolves. Stevia, whatever you want, and sweeten it to your own taste. So you make a lovely concentrate, mm-hmm. and then you start layering your popsicles. So I love the dollar store in this house. We're big fans of Dollarama. They have everything you need.
Yeah.
And so you start layering. It gets messy. So what I tried to do with my kids.
Oh, clever you.
Yeah, because the pouring and I have I have smaller ones too, right? So it got really, and then you can also control how much you're putting in, and then you can see, all right, this is gonna, so you're doing it in thirds essentially.
Okay.
So you're gonna put a third into your mold. You're gonna pop that in for about 30 minutes. It depends on the size of your mold. It depends on how cold your freezer is, how packed your freezer is. You want it frozen, but not too frozen, because then you're gonna add your cream layer. And I used a can of coconut milk. You were speaking earlier about decadence. I am all about decadence in this house.
And just do it. Don't apologize for it.
Never. I never
apologize.
Don't
tell me, well, it's Friday and I deserve it. It's Monday and I don't care.
It's a day that ends in Y. There is always a liter of whipping cream in this house, ready to go for whatever job I need it to do.
Perfect.
So I went
Love
with
you.
coconut milk this time, just to try something different. Again, make sure you add a little bit of sweetener to this layer as well. You don't need as much, but I just put a few drops of monk fruit. And then once that second layer is frozen, you add your cream layer, pop that in for another 30 minutes, take that out, and then you're going to add your third layer of...
So you are going, oh my God, look at that. You're going serious.
I had it out waiting here, but I mean,
Okay.
it's delicious. It's so delicious, and it's so much fun, sort of. It's when you're doing it with kids.
So, but what I love what you've done is that you've actually, you really have layered the flavors, right?
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I couldn't figure out a way to like do it like we had it as children, where it's like inside, right? But yeah, so my kids loved it, and the neighborhood kids, I made like smaller ones too, so that all the neighborhood kids could give it a go, and you know,
Perfect.
it's great. Yeah. So then once you've finished cooking with your children, you need a cocktail.
Yeah.
Also, you just
I'll
need
go with that.
So I've done the mango passion fruit cocktail.
Okay.
And this is it's a hard seltzer, and seltzer is really just carbonated water. I think Canadians get thrown off by that term. We don't use that term as fluidly as they do in the US, but it's basically just carbonated water or club soda.
Yep.
So again, you're going to make another concentrate. So this is even more concentrated. So it's 5 tea bags to 1 1/4 cups.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So super, super concentrated.
Yeah.
And you're going to let that steep. I actually let it sit overnight in my little ball jar here in the fridge with the lid on, the bags in. And then when I was ready to go, I took it out, squeeze the bags, make sure you get all that yummy goodness out of the bags. And then you start making your cocktail. So I like a good mason jar. Or I also use like sometimes like a scotch. Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm like, she's going to like this. I started canning last year for the first time, so I'm all about jars now. So you're going to fill your jar up with ice. The other thing you can do too is I actually have some frozen mango chunks.
Perfect.
And then you can eat them afterwards, and they've got the flavor. So I'll do a little bit of both for today. So everyone was talking about their concerns around using a shaker today. And I totally eliminated that for myself and didn't even put it in as a step, because I'm not going to embarrass myself on live.
Don't even try.
I would try. I don't have ones that match. I don't know what happened to my bar, but it gets a lot of action. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your concentrate, and you're going to basically add about a cup to the jar. Okay. So it goes about halfway, I'd say, depending on how strong you like it.
Nice.
And then you take your vodka. This also works with gin.
Okay.
We entertain every Friday. We host a board game night. And so I had a lot of guinea pigs last Friday. And I did forget to sweeten it at one point. And everyone's like, it's almost great. And then we figured it out. So, about an ounce, depending on how your day was. Maybe a little more.
Maybe a little more. As I said to James, a splash. Whatever a splash means to you.
A kiss. It could be a French kiss. Whatever that means to you. Exactly. And then you take your I have a soda stream, but I always have the bubbly flavors on the go here too. Yep. So you can get even more creative. There's so many amazing unsweetened carbonated drinks now, which is great because you can do so many fun things with them. So you're just gonna now this is the part where I don't have a shaker. You're just gonna give it a stir.
Stir, and that's all you need.
Keep it simple.
Oh, fabulous!
Add a little wedge of lime. You can squeeze it in, obviously.
Oh, that's a nice combination. See, we tend to go to lemons, but lime is a whole other layer of flavor.
Oh, I love it, especially in cocktails. It just changes it. So then you can you know, hopefully everyone's got a little herb garden going right now. The tis the season. We finally got some heat in Toronto. It's wonderful. So I've got a couple things. I've got fresh mint here, which is always standard. Yeah. But I love Thai basil. I love it.
Oh, nice.
I love it. I love it. The fragrance, I think it's amazing. And I'm always trying to find different things to do with it. So I also do like a muddled mojito with Thai basil as well. But it's just so fragrant and so beautiful. And I feel like it's underutilized. So you can do both if you want. You can put a little mint, you can put a little Thai basil or whatever you have. Like I've seen rosemary or fresh basil. Yeah. Like so many different ways to.
There's so many great herbs that actually, oh, delicious. Look at that. Delicious. There's so many different herbs that you can play with. And again, sort of, we tend to gravitate towards the safe ones, which I get, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with traditional lemon and mint, but mix it up. You can use lime for a different variety of citrus. You can use different types of mint. I mean, chocolate mint. Yes. And I mean, there's so many different varieties of mint alone. Yeah. So you did basil. I love using thyme.
Oh,
love thyme in my beverages.
What a great idea.
Yeah. Well, it's got a bit of a citrusiness to it, right?
Of course. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Stash does a mojito mint green tea that I am looking forward to playing around with this summer for sure. I think there's gonna be some fun things happening with that. They've got so many. It's like it's hard to pick, but I'm excited for that Earl Grey martini. That looked good too.
Yeah, it looks a little dangerous. Well, if you want to experiment and need somebody to, sample things out on, then
absolutely.
I'll bring a mason jar.
I have several. You don't have to add different sizes.
I'll bring my own.
Awesome.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Natasha. Now, the teas that you used, show us the teas.
So I used the mango passion fruit.
Perfect.
For the hard cocktail. And then I used, I grabbed the wrong one here. I used the strawberry pomegranate for the popsicles.
Yeah.
You can also use the wild
raspberry hibiscus.
I love anything with hibiscus. Like, always. It's my favorite.
I love the tartness as well. And I've actually managed to find, I can't remember what store it was, but it's pure hibiscus. Like it's just pure hibiscus.
Like bulk?
No, in a tea bag.
Oh, wow.
Pure hibiscus. I think it's Adonis. You're in Toronto?
Yeah.
Adonis supermarket. It's a Middle Eastern supermarket.
I know it well. Yeah, I shop there a lot.
Pure hibiscus.
Wow.
That's how much I love hibiscus.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm definitely going to try it. I know in health food stores, you can also buy it in bulk sometimes.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely my favorite thing in a tea for sure. Hard to say no to hibiscus tea.
I agree with you, but we're I think we're a little outliers. A lot of people tend to sweeten it because of that tartness that not everybody loves so much. But
people have the right to be wrong. It's okay.
Thank you. Kindred spirits. Well, Natasha, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure's definitely been mine. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for sharing some delicious recipes. Thank your children as well as your friends for agreeing to sacrifice of themselves.
Yeah, they're really good people. They're very good people. Yeah.
Thanks, Natasha. Hope to see you soon.
Take care. Have a great day. Thanks again.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Well, another slew of really fun recipes, a slew of really fantastic guests and some really, really great tips. And I think that the one thing that I hope you take away from today's guests is A, keeping it simple, and B, not being afraid to sort of mix things up and try out different combinations. But more than anything, through the several weeks that we've had with ICE TV and the many, many, many guests I've had and the many amazing recipes that we've shared with you, which I hope you try. I hope the one message that you get out of it all is to have fun. Don't be afraid to get into the kitchen. Don't be afraid to pull out either teas you know and love or teas that you've never tried before and do something different with, because you're going to surprise yourself by finding something unbelievably amazing. So with that, we come to the end of ICE TV. We've got one more week for National Iced Tea Month. And it's perfect because it is finally gorgeous and hot in Toronto. The sun is shining. I hope you get outside and enjoy something delicious. Thanks, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you at whatever the next thing is that we decide to dream up for you. Take care and have a good day.